African Real Estate TV. We learn, educate, and participate in the real estate economy.
Today on African Channel, we talk to Farrowson Murithi, a real estate developer with Pacific Realty Investment, a construction company whose aim is to transform rent payers to homeowners. Thank you very much, Mr. Farrowson Murithi, for agreeing to meet us today and to tell us a bit more about yourself and your company. So to begin, can you please tell us what is Pacific Realty Investment and why the name?
Thank you very much. My name is Farrowson Murithi, the CEO and founder of Pacific Realty Investment. Pacific Realty Investment is a company that gives you the one-stop services, construction services. That we call ourselves the most affordable housing construction company. We find the ocean, the biggest ocean in the world is Pacific. So that's why we came up with that name. So I started with very humble beginnings, but I was projecting to have a very big company.
And when did it begin construction of homes?
I started construction of homes, I would say like 10 years ago. But then again, actively as now Pacific 7 years ago. And we thank God that 7 years journey has been a very good journey until now.
Ah, good.
Yeah.
Okay, so until now or since inception, how many homes have you been able to construct?
Currently, we have done more than 600 units. So we have done basically more than 600 houses for those 7 years.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
That's over 600 families that have benefited from Pacific.
Yeah, then also there are like commercial buildings which are inclusive.
Okay.
So even commercial buildings in Achieng of like, let's say when you've done 10 units, the number of units exceed more than 100 units because in those ones we do like per floor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you tell us a little bit about the process of building a home through Pacific Realty Investment?
Now, when you walk into Pacific Realty Investment, we give you one-stop services for construction, as I've said, whereby we take you through the processes that we carry as a construction company. One, you meet our project manager, who are going to take you through the process of construction. We listen to your budget, and then we advise you. And then also we are also very keen to understand the kind of finishes you want, the size of the house you want.
Okay.
We also do what we call site service, at least to ensure that the ones we start the construction process, we have envisioned even the kind of land you own, so that we can be able to advise you on very many things. Because you might find there some people who want to build houses in areas that are not controlled, and you want maybe a home in an area that is controlled. So we give you advice based on those processes. We also take you through now the professional aspect, whereby you meet the architect, you meet the engineer, you meet the quantity surveyor, you meet the electrical engineer, you meet the mechanical engineer, every process of construction. The other thing is now also advising you on how to go about the government institutions processes. That is whereby like the approvals, change of views, and NEMA processes, registration of NCAs, all those processes.
Because I was also aiming to ask you that about the government processes, but you also spoke about looking at the budget of the client. So when you talk about budgeting, what is an affordable home according to Pacific, or how low is low?
I would say currently, we work with what we call a rate per square meter. And due to the market dynamics, previously we could do houses as low as 25,000 per square meter. But then with the current change of the pricing of materials, we have been forced to review our prices to a tune of a minimum of 30,000 per square meter for an affordable. Let's say if you're doing a 2-bedroom house, you can affordably finish that house with a budget of 2 million to 2.5 million. But this also will depend on the size of the house, the kind of finishes that you want. But I would say for a basic house, with around 2 million to 2.5 million, you can be able to get a 2-bedroom, a sizable house, or amenities inclusive, and a completed house.
Okay. You talked about, you've done this number of houses, 600. That means you must have an enormous number of staff, or how many staff members are involved in building a home from A to Z?
Construction is like a train, whereby we have a lot of cabins that we put on board. Let's say in a scenario whereby we are doing one unit, the number of people that we employ and the number of people that involved in construction, they depend on the stages of the house. because this is where also many Kenyans go wrong. When you want to do construction, you need to involve people depending on their talent and their specific construction affiliations. So what we do, I would say, when we have 100 projects, we work with more than let's say 500 workers, depending on various stages. Because we have subcontractors, we have masons, we have carpenters, we have welders for fabrication, we have electricians, we have cashiers, and then also when you come back to the office, now we have the professional team, which is permanent professional team. We have the architect, the engineer, the QSs, we have the procurement department, we have the accounting department, we have the administration department. So it's a huge train of quite a number of employees, but they depend on the scope of the project that you have.
Of the work. Okay. And do you also consider people living in the diaspora and also the neighboring countries?
Yeah, I would say I thank God because part of my business, which is an equivalent of like 40%, are diaspora people. We have been able to put our name outside there, and then we have been able to tap into the diaspora guys. And in our business model, we have 40% of our customers are diaspora people. We have a way of engaging them because most of them they are not able to come frequently to see the progress of the project. We have some who have trusted us due to the referrals that they get from other customers that have not even been able to come to office, but then we take them through our processes via the communication model that we have set up as a company, so that we can be able to engage them thoroughly in the construction process of their project.
So it is very, what do you call it? Very transparent process with Pacific Reality.
Yes, because in most cases we do what we call daily updates for any project that we have. So when we have a client, we do videos, we do photos, we do digital photos, and then we are able to update them on a daily basis. And then also we have a model where we engage our customers 100%. Because when you're building a house for somebody, it's not like when you're selling a house for somebody, so you need to inform them from inception to completion. The other thing that I would add is that when you come to us, we also allow you to give us your design ideas. Then we put them on paper.
Okay, good. So the transparency is very important, especially when dealing with diaspora clients, because of course they are putting in their money and they want to see the value of that. So talking of transparency and client putting money into the project, what are the financial implications in building a home? How much should a client, have? Or does it depend with how much they can get or their financial muscles? But to a client who is a newbie or a novice?
What I would say, in financing a project, there are very many aspects. And when you also when you come to office, we are able to ask you, like, whether your project is a bank finance project, because a bank finance project, we call it construction mortgage. The process of financing that construction mortgage is different from a person who is doing what you call a personal finance. Personal financing, whereby you have saved your money, you want to construct. There are people who use circles to construct. They have also their way of disbursement for their funds. So in our model, what we do, we don't ask for ransom. So our model is structured in phases of construction, because we also want you to be comfortable when you give your finances to construct the house. You're in control. So our model is based depending either the client is coming from a bank perspective, whether the client is doing what you call personal financing, whether the client is working with a circle, or whether the client is also in the diaspora. So what we do like a minimum of 5 phases to a maximum of 10 phases depending on the scope of work. So we structure it in a way that you send your money per phase. Now for bank finance project, each bank has their way of now financing model of their project. There are some banks who pay when you raise a certificate. There are some banks who are very, they have a very easy process of construction. So it depends.
So that is being flexible to meet the needs of a client who would, especially the new ones who don't know what to do and they're working through banks or circles or these other financial institutions.
Another thing to add is there are some customers who want to do the process within a huge timeline. That is where we call it Cocacola. You don't want to start a project, but let's say the project is like 3 million. Your plan is to do that project with a scope of 2 years. So you come to us, we sit down, and then we agree at what stage and how many breaks we need to take. Because when the finances are ready, let's say a bank will take a maximum of 6 months, and a merchant will take a maximum of 8 months when the finances are ready. But then if you want to do the what you call Chimbatoe, you can do it in phases and you can do it flexibly within that period.
Okay, thank you so much. And do you have financial institutions that Pacific Realty Investment and Pacific Villas Estate works with? Apart from what the client has, are there any financial institutions you can advise a client to go and work with or to work with so that you are in sync in this project?
Yeah, what I would say, currently we have what you call a very dynamic market, whereby we partner with banks. We give, we can recommend you to banks that can be able to finance you. I'm very happy that the mortgage uptake is also now taking a track. People are now appreciating going for mortgages and also going for support to get financing. So we can advise you, and then when we advise you, so we also give you now the people at the bank also to give you their requirements. Because as I've told you, but each bank has
its own
requirements.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so moving away from the banks and financial institutions, things a client needs to consider before building or buying a home. What is your general advice to a customer?
One of the things that you need to consider is I would say the needs of the family. I would say the location for that house, the amenities within that area. You also need to consider the value of land versus what you want to put up in that area.
Okay.
You also need to consider if you want to do your house in a what you call a controlled development or in an area that's not controlled. You also need to think about the spaces that you need in your house, whether they are practical. Because we get different ideas from different customers.
Yes.
And, sometimes we find they have not what you call budget versus the ideas that they want to put into paper. So we advise our customers to think about those things. The size of the land that you want also matters a lot on the environment that you would want, and also the infrastructure, basic infrastructure to the position of your property also matters a lot.
Okay.
Yeah. What happens for those what we call first-time builders or people who have no knowledge about construction? We guide them through because basically for you to build a house, you know, first of all you need to come up with a dream of the house that you want.
Yes.
And then again also you need to get somebody who can advise you and also protect the interest of, let's say, your financing interest.
Yes.
So what we do, we take you through all the processes. There are some people who come to us and they tell us, I want like this house. They can even pick houses from the YouTube, they can pick them from the Facebook or from the internet. So they come and tell us, I want this kind of house. Then you know the budget, you tell them the budget is let's say 5 million.
Yes.
And then we do the building for them, you know, they'll not bother, and then we provide a quality finished house to them. So it depends with the way our clients also approach us.
Because that was also going to be my other question. But also, how do you make sure that this client who wants to build is complying with government's guidelines on building a home or buying or purchasing a home?
Our first process, whereby we start with what we call now, the first process is the design process. So once we do the design, let's say you're working with a maisonette.
Yes.
You need to have an architectural design and you need to have a structural design. So these two designs need to be taken to the government for approval. So I would say 100% of our customers, they comply. The only challenge is that we have people fear doing approvals due to the government institutions bureaucracy. So we have come up with a system whereby we have somebody in-house who facilitates or helps our customers, because most clients will fear going to the bank to do the approvals.
Yes.
So we have somebody in the office that facilitates these processes, and then we make sure that we are compliant to everything. Because I'll tell you for free, if you start a construction without doing the approvals, the kind of money that you're going to spend trying to, let's say, to bribe the inspector in the departments will even be more than what you have spent going for the approvals. And then again, approval processes are not as exaggerated as people exaggerate they are tiresome. In some areas, we get a lot of complexity processes, but then I can tell you the best thing is to do approvals as you start your construction.
Good. So it is better to go through the right way and get a good product than trying to go shortcuts. Thank you. Also, as I said, this was going to be my other questions to you, that we see a lot of plans being sold in the streets or people pulling out designs from the internet. Do you also work with these plans if a client brings? And what advice would you give to this client? Should they bring these plans to you?
One of the things that we get quite a number of people that pull plans from the street and from the internet.
Yes.
But then you have to sit them down and make them understand. Because if you pick a plan, let's say you buy a plan from town, that plan should have been, the idea should have come depending on the size of your plot, the orientation of your land, the topographic nature of your land. So once we get that plan, we can be able to capture some of the aspects of the plan, but you cannot be able to replicate 100%.
Yes.
Because it also depends with the way that you've done your product. Yes. So what you always advise customers, once you pick a plan from the street, come to us, let's advise you. If it is able to fit within the land size, the plot size of your plot, we can be able to replicate the same. But then if there's some changes that we want to make, we make the changes as per the plan. There's some people also who go to the internet and also they pick the plan, which we also work through, and then they come up with now a design based on those plans.
Okay. Yeah. So in that case, do you also assist the clients with sourcing for building materials, and do you allow for your clients to buy the materials and then you come in as Pacific and build for them? Is that done?
Now for Pacific, since we say that we're doing affordable housing and we want to cut cost on the construction material, we take up the project as what we call a full contract. Okay. But then we allow the client to choose the kind of materials they want for their houses, the kind of finishes they want for their houses. Now in the procurement process, this is where also most people go wrong. So we have mastered the art of the processes that are needed to buy materials. Because let's say for a layman who would want to build a house, when you go to buy materials, the first thing you ask is in the quantities of flores. So you say I want one lorry of sand, but you don't know the exact quantities of those lorries. Lorries are different, they carry different capacities. You go to the room and you say I would want stones. You don't know how many pieces that's supposed to be carried by one lorry. You go to people who are doing plaster work. You don't know the kind of the kind of work that's supposed to be doing a day. So we mitigate that. We package that. We know the tricks that are used in the industry to deal with the construction materials. So we guide our customers. But the only thing that we allow our customers is to choose. So let's say when you're starting a project, we give you samples of stones. We tell you there is this stone and this stone. Then you can choose and say, I would want a mixture of these stones, or I would want this kind of stones.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So you know the game. You understand your expertise, and you actually practice it. So the client can come to you knowing very well that they're dealing with somebody who is an expert in that field. And you mentioned earlier, as you were beginning the interview, that you've been able to construct more than 600 homes. Have you been able also to be physically available to hand over these homes to your clients?
Yeah, I would say since I'm very passionate about construction, 95% of my project, I am one of the people that go into supervision from inception to completion. And then also to show solidarity with the customers, I make sure that every handover I attend, because I also want to listen to their feedback. Because in this construction industry, what we mostly depend on is what we call referral. Most of our customers are repeat customers. They are friends to our customers and relatives to our customers. So it is very important for me as the founder of the company to hear their feedback, and then again also my team to improve on some of these areas, because construction is a thing that keeps changing each and every day.
Okay. Also, how would you advise a client who is fearful of beginning to build a home?
There are very many aspects as to why a customer would be fearful. One of the things is that if they initially started a project and they failed, they went to the wrong developers, or they went to the wrong people to do their project. When you want to do construction, the first people you speak to is your family. So they can either mislead you or lead you to good contractors. Then you find, once you mention about construction, everybody, let's say in the Kenyan sector,
they want to get involved.
They want to be part of that. They have a lot of ideas. Sorry to say, you talk to a doctor, they will give you a lot of ideas about construction. So there are those experiences that some people go through and they fear doing construction. But I can tell you, once you work with somebody who has into this business, somebody who is trustworthy, you're able now to achieve your goals. There are some challenges that come, like I mentioned to you earlier. Like this year, all construction companies can tell you that very serious challenges. We were not even able to deliver a project within the timelines. We were also forced to drop some of the projects due to the market dynamics. Things changed drastically. They went up like steel bars went to by more than 120%.
Wow.
Then we had customers who were taking mortgages based on their salaries. So if you go to that person to add more money, it became very difficult.
Yes, yes.
So there's an aspect of understanding as a customer as well. You need also to understand the market dynamics. So if a contractor is very open and they tell you this is the challenge that you are facing,
yes,
it's very important to work with to also to work with the construction company if you have confidence with them. So those are some of the factors that can make people fear about construction. So it depends on whose hands you fall.
Yes, and talking about that, you can actually adjust
Yeah.
to meet the needs
Yeah.
of both your
Yeah.
company
Yeah.
and the client's
Yeah,
needs.
sure,
Huh?
sure.
Okay, good. Thank you for staying with us in the first part of this show. Watch out for part 2 of this informative and educative talk.
African Real Estate TV will learn, educate, and participate in the real estate economy.